Thank you very much, CS Balala, for taking your time to speak to us.
Thank you very much.
We're greatly honored. Now, the Kenya's economy has been sort of on a recovery mode. We saw last year was not a very good year, but this year the numbers have been improving very well, particularly in the tourism sector. And during your plenary sessions, you spoke about 2018, 2020, and 2022, and even as far as Vision 2030 in terms of tourism. Now, I would like for you to break down those numbers and how you intend to achieve them.
Well, first of all, last year we had a difficult year. We had a growth of 9.8%, and we had 1.475 million people coming into the country with receipts of $1.2 billion. In terms of receipts, we broke the records, but I know the support came from the domestic market. But international arrivals has been depressed a bit because of the challenges we had. But as we are recovering, we are targeting 2018 to be a 17% growth to almost 1.7 million people. But our target is to have 2.5 million people by 2022 and 5 million people by 2030. So that is a target we have. It's very ambitious, I know, but I see the source market that a potential for the growth is first United States of America because of the direct flights from Nairobi to New York. And then the other big markets are three big regions, which is China. Currently we're having 70,000. I believe in the next 2 years we'll have over 100,000 Chinese coming to Kenya. The second is India. India also also close to almost 70,000, so we see a potential of growth there. And then Central Europe, where France and its neighboring countries is a big potential, and Germany, where there'll be growth from that region. But also we have identified another good market, which we have not tapped at all, which is Africa. And the African market, you see the challenges is infrastructure as well as connectivity. But we are working, and we have started the first phase of first giving visa on arrivals for Africans. And already people have become excited and they want to come to Kenya. The next stage, as we resolve as Council of Ministers, how do we connect the continent intra-Africa tourism by having the air connectivity. And these are policy being developed now, as well as strategies to counter this challenge. But definitely there's a big market. We have 1.2 billion Africans with a good percentage of the middle class. So we want to tap to that middle class, both to our neighbors in the region, East Africa, but to West Africa, North Africa, and South Africa. So these are the potential markets that we have not even counted, and we want to tap on them.
Well, last year was characterized by a prolonged electioneering period, and also Kenya is very disadvantaged in terms of its geographical location because of the Al-Shabaab challenge that we tend to experience with Ethiopia. You know, one attack and Kenya is labeled as the hotbed of terror, Ebola, and travel bans and travel advisories are slapped on the country. So as a ministry, how are you working towards revamping the image of Kenya to the world?
It's unfortunate that there's bias representation and biased reporting on the continent of Africa. It's convenient when an incident happens and generalize the continent, and it's convenient also when identifying a single nation within the continent of Africa. So though this biasness is we need to address, but that's why we as a Council of Ministers have agreed we should establish at the African Tourism Organization to change the narrative for ourselves so that we can market the destination as Africa, but with distinct, diverse products all over the continent. So the minute you come to Africa, you can go to multiple destinations, and we both benefit. But yes, we need to change the narrative of the negativity and the image that we have. And a good example is Kenya. Kenya has suffered a lot because of these travel advisors. They are not sincere, they are political, and I'm glad, I want to congratulate Prince William for defying its own travel advisory by coming to Kenya this week. And despite last week, the government or the British High Commission has slapped Kenya with a travel advisory that has no concern. Is Ebola identified in DRC, and Kenya suffers the consequences of DRC. But these are political statements, so we decided to ignore them. And we want also the public to ignore them because they are political. And a good example, Prince William defied it, and he came to Kenya to cooperate with us in the illegal wildlife trade. And we are going to attend that forum to make sure that we have collaboration all over the world in fighting illegal wildlife trade.
Well, with the open sky policy and the signing of the Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, the African continent is going to open up. Now, here's where the challenge comes in. Most African countries are offering almost the same product. So how do we specialize our product offering so that we can complement each other instead of compete in terms of products and services?
I am very clear. We have no competitions among ourselves. We have similar products, but every product has its uniqueness. I want us to see competition outside the continent and work together. If I have visitors who come to Kenya, go to Uganda, see the source of the Nile, go to Rwanda, see the gorillas, that is beautiful. And that's why we have taken the initiative as Kenya to create this uni-visa, one visa for 3 countries. If the wildebeest migration is available in Kenya and Serengeti, why not? Come and see both countries. They are unique in its own nature, and be able to see additional uniqueness whenever you visit this country. We are unique from Tanzania. We cannot compete with each other. But yes, global travelers, the 1.3 billion people traveling, they are traveling all over the world. Africa only gets a 3%, which is 62 million people from 1.3. I think instead of us competing against each other, we can get the market share of 1.3 to Africa.
Well, now let's cross borders and take a look at Dubai. It has been doing very well, but Dubai cannot be compared to Kenya in terms of natural resources. We are king in that sector. However, Dubai has found a way of packaging its products and selling the perfect product experience to its customers and to its visitors. Now, how is Kenya positioning itself in the market to create the ultimate experience for the tourists that are coming into the country, or even travelers that are just stopping by in Nairobi?
Well, we are very clear again to our strategy and the blueprint that we have 2 core products in Kenya. One is the beach and the second is the safari. So we are combining a beach safari experience, and we value add it with culture, with heritage, with sports, with conferencing. And that is an experience we give to our clientele international. And we believe Kenya has a lot to offer, and we are working of improving through technology, but improving through the product development strategy of how do we improve our package. And I agree with you, the Diani beach is among the best in the world. Yeah? But again, we are working on building infrastructure, we are working in creating conducive economic opportunity for investors to invest into the quality of resources that we've seen in Dubai and here. But in terms of human development, we Kenyans supply Dubai with the human resources. We train at the Kenya Utalii College, they go to refine it, yes, but most of the people working in Dubai also from African origin are Kenyans, and we are proud of that. But definitely we have a clear strategy on human resource development in Kenya, particularly in the service industry, because without the human resource services, then definitely the asset that we have built will be declared redundant, because it goes hand in hand. The asset, it has to be right, and the service complementing the assets must be brilliant. So this is important in terms of training.
Well, speaking of Nairobi, there has been talk here and there that it's not living up to its potential. If you look at a city like Dubai, it has established itself as an ultimate hub, be it travel, be it leisure. How do we turn Nairobi into the ultimate African hub, not just East African, but African hub in terms of leisure, in terms of business, and many other reasons as to why people travel?
You're aware that the president has appointed a team called the Nairobi Regeneration, which I happen to chair, and we coordinate government, the national government and the county government. How do we improve Nairobi to be an ideal city first before it becomes a hub? So we are working on developing as an ideal city so that we can have improvement on infrastructure, we can have improvement in utilities. Among them is power supply and healthcare, housing, and energy and water, yeah, as well as to make sure that we have green spaces in our region. And I'm in charge of that. So we are slowly improving on Nairobi being the ideal city, and definitely working with Kenya Airways. Already Nairobi is an airline hub. Yeah, despite the challenges that Kenya Airways is getting, it's one of the best airlines in Africa, and it reaches 50 destinations in Africa. So it is the pride of Africa, and it's the airline. Nairobi is an airline hub for Kenya Airways as well as for others, because connectivity into Africa is via Kenya Airways. So slowly we are catching up there. Remember, we are not at the same economic capabilities with Dubai, but we do with the little resources that we have.
Well, when we talk about Nairobi, it's key to note that one of the most important things is the airport. Now, the Jomo Kenyatta Airport has been doing well, but not as well as compared to airports like Murtala Mohammed and many other airports in the African continent. What are we doing to elevate the status of that airport so that it can be a key area in promoting tourism in the country?
Yes, I also get involved with the issues of the airport. His Excellency the President has made sure that 3 ministers make sure that the airport works efficiently. He's appointed the Minister of Immigration and Interior, the Minister of Transport, and myself to see the seamless flow of visitors into our country. So there has been an improvement for the last 6-7 months. I know we have not reached there, so we are going to do much more. Remember, we have an airport that is old, that's 40 years old. So we are working on refurbishment. We have refurbished Terminal 1A. Now we are working on B, C, and D. So hopefully by end of the year, that decision will be done, as well as a second runway planned. Hopefully that decision also will be decided soon, so that we can be able to attract more bigger airlines into Nairobi Airport. Definitely airport is crucial because it is the face and the entry of the destination. So we are going to focus on the airport so that the experience is not just about a hotel or watching animals, but experience from the minute you land into the country to the minute you leave the country.
Well, as we come to a close of this interview, in the interest of time, I would like to ask, for a long time, our tourism has been dependent on safari and beaches. However, time has come for us to begin diversifying our stock. So what is the ministry doing in terms of looking at cultural tourism, sports tourism, medical tourism, and even educational tourism?
Well, we have a clear strategy in the national blueprint. Our core business, we cannot run away from them. It is safari and the beach. And then we have the add-ons, which is now the creation of the niche products, which is sports tourism, cultural tourism, heritage tourism, medical tourism that is now developing slowly in Nairobi, as well as conference tourism. So we have seen the add-ons into the product, but we cannot deny we are not a safari and the beach destination, and that is where also our focus is. But definitely appreciating there are others that can create value for the client.
Thank you very much for
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And we wish you all the best in the
Thank
ministry.
you.